Key is, it was the Popeye spicy chicken sandwiches that I ate this week that helped the eyes.
I've never heard of a chicken sandwich treating a janky eye, but maybe it'll become a trend. Just like #TrendZone. Chicken sandwiches may have been the talk of the weekend, but Ravens linebacker Matthew Judon had another fast food to thank for crafting his physique.
Matthew Judon, body built by Taco Bell.
How did the Ravens defense celebrate handing Belichick and Brady their first loss of the season? Same way we all would, doing it for the gram. And yes, that is Ravens defensive coordinator Don Martindale showing off his drip with the Michael Jordan-esque gold baby chain. Gotta love it. Your favorite Trend Zone host actually predicted that the Ravens would pull off the upset and how they were going to do it.
I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Ravens get the W. I feel like Lamar Jackson will have a coming out party.
Oh, don't you worry. You want more predictions? I got them. Later in the show, coming up. The Vikings got real disrespectful riding a 4-game win streak in the Arrowhead Stadium. Everson Griffin even took some time out during the game to lead a sea of purple in an impromptu skull chant. A skull chant in Arrowhead was like the Vikings' way of saying, disregard your couch to Chiefs fans. You know what they were really saying, but I can't say that on this show. It's PG. I love the kids. Tyreek came through with 6 receptions for 140 yards and a touchdown. Damian Williams came away with a 91-yard rushing touchdown, which tied the record for the longest run in Chiefs history. This is the first rushing touchdown the Vikings defense gave up since week 3. The highlight of this run was Tyreek Hill activating cheetah mode and tracking Williams down to provide the end zone escort. Hill reached a max speed of 22.64 miles per hour compared to Williams, who hit 20.78 miles per hour. If you're not a mathematician, the translation is they're both fast as shit. After the game, Andy Reid had the Chiefs locker room litty like Kansas City. Trademark. Meanwhile, the Bucs extended a streak of their own. It's their 7th straight season below 500 at the halfway point, which is not the streak that they want, or the streak that I may or may not have got a citation for in college. Anyway, the Bucs lost their 4th straight game, but Jameis Winston still tried to look on the bright side of the glass being half full with air and water. Makes no sense.
The glass is always full because it's maybe full, half full of water, it's still full with air. So we got to keep that glass full. We got to keep a chip on our shoulder, and we got to find a way to get a win.
Although it's been a while since Winston ate a W, I want to know what he's eating to make his mind think of things like that. And at the same time, I don't want to know. Joey Bosa tried to be cordial after the game, but ended up throwing some shade at Aaron.
Didn't do today, excuse me.
And the Chargers social media team, well, they threw some shade at the Packers in the form of any memes necessary. If Mitch Trubisky was looking to make a case for why he should remain the Bears starting quarterback, this game did not help. The Bears passing game was ranked 29th coming into week 9, and the offense managed to put up a total of 9 yards in the first half, their lowest output in the last 40 years. Tom Brady was 2. The Bears' only first down in the first half came late in the second quarter on a drive that ended in another punt, or punt, depending on where you're from. Trubisky finished the game with 10 completions for a grand total of 125 yards. The Bears have now lost 4 straight games, and Trubisky is now 3-4 on the season. It's almost like the Bears have been punking their fans after a promising season last year. And while it's no secret the Bears offense has been on struggle mode all season, time to ask the question, do the Bears need the Trubisky? Play on words. All right, so the Browns and the Broncos squared off, and Twitter got the roast on, as their jerseys proved to be a little more than an eyesore. Jarvis Landry and OBJ were spotted wearing non-compliant cleats and had to change them at halftime or risk not being allowed to play the remainder of the game. Baker Mayfield's been in Cleveland less than 2 years, but all of a sudden, he's aged 20 years. And he may have been more focused on his facial hair than his actual passing game. Baker arrived to the game rocking a full beard, and then during warm-ups, he had the Fu Manchu. And then after the game, he went full-on FBI agent who's seen too much. You got to get me out there. I'm in too deep. It's my favorite time of the show where we kick off Tough Day at the Office with one of the best kickers in NFL history. Well, that's called foreshadowing because that's wide left. The holder, check this out, he gives them the laces. Now, if you're under the age of 24, you may have no idea what this means, but let me explain it to you. Everybody knows you go laces out. It's like the first thing you learn about football when you're holding, which is a very weird position of itself, and it's an easy way to make a couple $100,000. But still, laces out. Vinatieri with the miss. Colts get the loss. Tough day at the office. All right, next up, we have Jaguars DB Trey Herndon. He gets truck sticked by a scat back, or at least what he thought was a scat back. Duke Johnson, who may look small, may look quick, is 215 pounds, and now Trey Herndon's chest plate knows that all too well. Sorry about that, being on that end of the highlight. Tough day at the office. Also, same game, Carlos Hyde. He could go all the no. Fumble, 2-yard line. He runs 60+ yards, and 2 yards before the end zone, he gets the ball knocked out by the defender. No touchdown for you, Carlos. That's a tough day at the office. At least you get the yards. All right, over in the Steelers-Colts game, we had DB Steven Nelson playing with no shoe, right? Which should be a tough day at the office because if I'm a quarterback, I should check to any pass play against the guy who's wearing a sock on grass. But we don't do that. And check this out. Not long after, he gets called for a pass interference. He had his shoe on, but still, tough day at the office for sure. All right, next, heading over to the Jets game, where the whole Jets franchise had a tough day at the office after losing to the Dolphins, who most of us predicted to go winless this season. Well, most of them except me, because I predicted the Dolphins to win this game. Anyway, we had Ryan Griffin here, who celebrates a touchdown catch. He thinks he has it, he gets 2 feet in, but after further review, he bobbled the ball. That's a waste of a lot of energy, celebration. He did a Gronk spike, all for naught. In this same game, which is a lot of the reason why they lost to the Dolphins. Check this out. Tough day at the office for the Jets offense as the center snaps a safety. We got some friction between the O-line and Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold clearly scared for his life, so he walks away. New York Jets get an L and give the Dolphins their first win of the season. Definitely a tough day at the office. The safety looked like it should have been on one of those old NFL Films Follies lowlight reels.